A picture is never one person's work. It is a collaboration of more than 100 crafts. But in 1950s Hollywood, making a picture was an industrial process. This is Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. It was a sprawling manufacturing plant, operating on a massive geographic scale, with its own police force, power grid, and rigid assembly line. The raw material was the story. Every year, readers sorted through thousands of books and pitches. Most were rejected immediately. Only a fraction survived to become a germ idea, a concept strong enough to justify the millions required to build it. Once an idea was approved, it required an army of administrators to process the paperwork. Before a single camera rolled, dozens of typists turned out treatments, script drafts, and carbon copies, feeding the logistics engine of the lot. If a producer decided to bet the studio's money on one of these scripts, they were committing to a massive logistical mobilization. They had to coordinate over 100 highly specialized crafts to physically build, light, and photograph a completely fabricated world. Inside the studio, the screenplay operates as a rigid mathematical schematic. Every word of dialogue and scene description translates directly into a financial cost. To budget the film, the production department slices the script into strips, cataloging variables like actors, locations, and days. They strip scenes of narrative order. Scenes using the same set are stacked together to be shot on the same day, defending against costly delays. Filming an emotional arc weeks out of sequence requires obsessive tracking. Script supervisors log exact details line by line, noting which hand holds a cigarette or the precise placement of a prop, so a scene filmed Tuesday matches a pickup shot filmed a month later. By treating the script as a logistical puzzle rather than a story, the studio guarantees the financial survival of the picture well before anyone calls action. With the schedule locked, the green light flashes, and production moves into the cavernous real estate of the soundstage. Framing a single shot requires industrial-grade machinery and the sheer physical strength of specialized crews. Grips rustle heavy camera dollies into position, while electricians rig massive lamps from the rafters to simulate sunlight. Outside the stages, a hidden ecosystem of backlot shops manufactures whatever physical reality the script demands. Carpenters, plasterers, and greensmen construct full-scale architectural illusions, entire city blocks built specifically to be photographed and then torn down. Actually capturing a scene is a grinding, repetitive loop. The crew resets the lighting rig, the track, and the camera angles over and over to grab a master shot, close-ups, and alternative takes, all while fighting a strictly enforced daily clock. This manufacturing of emotion on screen is a grueling, physically exhausting engineering exercise. Shooting ends with a disorganized pile of exposed film reels. To turn this raw material into a product, the studio initiates a series of finishing operations. The final picture is built piece by piece on an editing bench. An editor physically snips and splices strips of celluloid, discarding the unusable takes and artificially cutting a specific rhythm into the timeline. Because the soundstage often fails to capture atmospheric noise, missing audio is fabricated from scratch. Technicians use physical props to rebuild the sonic environment, layering footsteps, rattling chains, and rainfall over the dialogue track. And finally, the crucial emotional cues are dictated by an orchestral score. A massive ensemble performs live, synchronizing their music directly to the projected image to guide the audience's reaction precisely when required. Post-production is the crucible where thousands of fragmented, out-of-order pieces from the factory floor are welded into a cohesive, uninterrupted timeline. Before the product is finalized, it faces a blind preview audience. The studio watches strangers react in the dark, measuring laughs and silences to determine if the psychological illusion they've built actually works. Once the cut is locked, the original negative is sent to the lab for mass duplication. Thousands of feet of celluloid are chemically printed, multiplying the single approved copy into a massive inventory. This animated map shows how those finished prints are shipped outward. From the central hub in California, heavy metal canisters are distributed to dozens of theaters across the globe, arriving exactly on schedule for opening night. When we sit in a theater, we experience a seamless 90-minute dream. But that dream is the final output of an industrial city, built through the synchronized labor of over 120 specialized craftsmen.